Hello, my name is Brian Loston, and today I'm speaking with Nick Emard. Nick will be sharing his knowledge about Majoun, a traditional food from Egypt. Nick is a member of actually, his ancestry lies with the North African and Egyptian communities. And that's the cultural group that this food originates from. So, hello, Nick. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Relatively lucky in such a regard that this is something that I was essentially raised on.
First, could you describe the food?
Uh, I first encountered it when I was real young, when my grandma was making it. She absolutely loved anything out of Philadelphia,
Okay.
and the gal could darn near drink honey. She had a sweet tooth, so anything that she could slather in honey and roll in almonds, she absolutely would. And there was nothing her type 2 diabetes was going to do about her love of honey. So this is just something that I had the pleasure of getting at most holidays while she was still with us. So it holds a special place in my heart.
Nice. And so, was it just the honey and the almonds and the Philadelphia, or were there other
Um,
combinations?
typically it was a Philadelphia honey almond mix, a little bit of sugar in with the almonds, but I had an auntie who had a thing for adding dates to it as well.
Okay.
But again, individual taste and preference usually goes into making such things. So,
So, how would you actually make it? I have my honey, I have my Philadelphia, I have my almonds.
let's see. Take a couple of bits of the Philadelphia paper sheets, a little bit of nuts, sprinkle of sugar, roll it up, roll it, and usually she had like a little bit of egg wash, touch of oil in her hands that she would wet her hands with the wash. She would ball it so that the filler dough would stick to itself, and then she would give it another layer of the almond and sugar mix, and then give it a kind of puff pastry kind of balling, leaving a little kind of top frilly little thing over the top because she just wanted to be able to cup it, close it, and she just tapped it down. It always made this cute little topper on the top. So
Now,
after that,
would it always be baked, or could you eat it raw as
mm,
well?
if we, I've only ever seen it baked. So,
Yeah, I happened across a recipe online where it was basically take some sort of grain, your honey, and whatever nuts or fruit, and roll it up like you said, and then that's it. But it was all stuff you wouldn't have to cook to eat. It
oh
was literally like a medicine ball in your hand that you could walk around with.
no, I gotcha.
Yeah.
I've heard stories of my grandmom's sister running with those,
Okay.
but the argument runs the differences between but the difference between what you can make while you're at home and have an oven or fry oil is a little different than what you do out in the field or when you're trying to prep something for a camping trip or to pack for your husband, brother, uncle, or whoever that's about to go across the desert for trading salt.
Yeah. Now,
Uh,
when you talk about that and the travel ability of it, would that been one of the cultural significantly things about the food was the travel ability?
the, the,
Yes.
the, the the difference is what you would bake at home had a shorter shelf life, but the stuff that you could roll into a ball and send out with husband or uncle or whoever that was about to travel, that would last for so freaking long because you were using essentially raw honey that the honey
Yeah,
itself had antibacterial properties.
exactly. It was the
So
original Band-Aid. But no, let's say, and we're just going to jump right into the cannabis part of it. So it can be infused, the Majoun, and it's
yes.
typically an edible confectionery, meaning infused with cannabis. Yeah. Cannabis was medicine when this was created. Can you think of any other modern day things you might add to it, like that? Like if we were going to pass this on to the next generation, they gave us this dish with cannabis. What would you add to it down the medical vein, like for the next generation?
Um, I think simple is best in this particular case,
Okay.
especially if you're going to travel with it.
Okay.
Uh, you don't necessarily want to add too many things that's going to spoil this particular item any faster than necessary.
They perfected the dish thousands of years ago. Is there anything else that you'd like to share about Majoun that we haven't covered?
No, given its simplicity and I think we've covered it. It's a simple enough thing, especially for travel, that just about portion control, anything beyond anything else, I think we're good.
Nick, I'd like to thank you so much for sharing your time, and I appreciate your knowledge on the subject and the stories of your gran and you taking the time out of your day. Mahalo. Thank you. Thank you.